good evening and welcome to BS Rugby, and finally we have the return of the watch along. So good to see so many of you here already. Great to see so many of you already here. How are we all doing? Are we all ready for tonight's watch along? Let's see, is Ulster take on the Scarlets, of course, in the URC. We are very close to the kickoff. We're going to go through the teams. We're going to have a quick chat about predictions. As always, vote in the poll. Get your predictions in. Excuse me. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. You've liked the stream. Get involved in the chat. Ask questions. We have the Six Nations just around the corner. And, of course, make sure if you're watching on Facebook to like and follow the page. Without further ado, then, let's have a look at the teams that have been picked for this evening. Of course, don't forget that a lot of the players are away on international duty, but we are going to focus on these players here. So starting at fullback for Ulster's Ethan McElroy with Craig Gilroy and Rob Littley on the wings. In the centres, we have Angus Curtis and Ben Moxham. In the 10 jersey of Billy Burns alongside Nathan Doak. Excited to see how Nathan Doak gets on tonight. In the front row, we have Eric O'Sullivan, John Andrew and Martin Moore. Alongside them, in the locks, Alan O'Connor is captain and Sam Carter is in the lock with Greg Jones, Marcus Rea and Dwayne Vermeulen playing at 8. Keep an eye on him, one of the best players in the world playing in this one. The Scarlets line up like this evening, starting with the fullback. Johan Nicholas plays at fullback with Tom Rogers and Ryan Conbier on the wings. Keep an eye out on Tom Rogers. Tyler Morgan and Steph Hughes play in the centres with Dan Jones, giving the nod at 10. Dane Blacker is at 9. In the front row, we have Steph Thomas, Dav Hughes, captains the side for the first time this evening. Samson Lee partners in, very experienced Samson Lee there. Sam Lucy and Morgan Jones are the locks. Keep an eye out on Sione Kalamafoni for sure. He's a great ball carrier. Sean Evans and Carwyn Tupelotu, a star for the future, Carwyn Tupelotu. Be sure to keep your eyes out on him. How are we doing this evening? Hope everyone is doing well. James, hope you're doing well, mate. Be strong. Hello to you. Make sure, as always, to let me know your thoughts in the chat. Both teams are just coming out. Scarlets playing in their away kit today. And interested to see how this game goes. As always, make sure that you do get your votes in the poll, that you let me know who you think is going to win. Currently, everyone is pretty much backing Ulster to win. 73% backing the Ulstermen to win this evening. So interesting to see how they do go. But we are waiting here for kickoff. Round 11 of the URC. A week to go until the Six Nations as well. And of course, we'll be doing loads of watch-alongs for that. So you're very welcome into the stream. Get your comments in. Get your thoughts in as always. Let me know what you're making of the game today. I'm always intrigued to hear your thoughts and what you make of it. Just to remind everyone, I can't actually show the game itself. I'm not allowed to do that due to copyright, but this is like a commentary, but we have a chat about everything rugby as well as we go along. So you're welcome to stick around. If you thought that I was going to show the game, sorry, but I'm not allowed to do that. But you're welcome to stick around and listen and enjoy the chat and banter as we go. So both teams out. There is a minute's silence just before the game. So we wait for that. But really excited to be back doing watch-alongs, man. It's been way too long, hasn't it? So it's good to be back with you guys today. And really looking forward to this. As always, do let me know your thoughts and your predictions. Paul Price says, I think the most we Scots can hope for tonight is some moments of brilliance from the Rogers, Nicholas and Conbier. Tom Rogers is a very exciting player, a really, really exciting player. They're having a moment of silence with John O'Hara, who's a big Ulster fan. Tom Rogers is really exciting winger. I thought we might have seen him in the Wales squad, maybe a little bit too early for him. Paul, unfortunately, I don't have any links, but I'm sure if you look in the right places, you'll be able to find them. Right, we're ready for kickoff. We have Jaco Piper as the referee today. The South African is in charge of this one. Let me just get my headset sorted. Hope if I turned it on. But we are all set for kickoff here. Let me know your predictions in the chat. Vote in the poll as always. But it's Billy Burns all set to get us underway here. And this is going to be a real challenge for the Scarlets tonight. The King's Pan is pretty much full. Off we go then. Billy Burns gets us underway at the King's Pan. Off we go. And from the kick-off, they actually managed to retrieve it. But the ball is out. But penalty to Ulster. And there's a knock-on from the Scarlets. So a scrum just outside the 22. It's pretty windy down there, I must say. So scrum all set to go here. First scrum of the game. Nathan Doak will feed it for the home side. Ulster by 20. Dwayne Peel returning to his old club. That is true. What's your score prediction for tonight? Dan, I can only see one winner, mate. I think Ulster will win this one fairly comfortably. I kind of agree with Paul. I don't know if it will be that much. I think the really important thing for Scarlets early on here is not to concede. Ulster are on the attack here. They've got to try and remain competitive for the first half if they can. Maybe that's a bit of a stretch. I mean, I think they said pre-game there were 17 injuries, 9 players off with Wales and a few out with COVID as well. So it's all a little bit of a mess. Advantage here to Ulster, though, just outside the 22. Jaco Piper with his arm out. Nathan Doak fires it out to Billy Burns. Billy Burns really involved early on here. But also been fantastic this season. Still playing advantage. O'Connor, the captain this evening. Doak into Burns. Lovely step inside. No advantage, though. Offside from the Scarlets. Interesting to see what Ulster decide to do from here. James Cody forgot Gilroy. They play. Do you know what? Amazingly, he's only, I think, 28, 29. He's quite young, actually. But he seems to have been around for years and years and years. Yeah, Ulster by 12 to 15 for me. Yeah, I think 20-odd points, I think, around about that. It looks like Nathan Doak is going to go for the post, take the points early on. But it's going to be a tough evening for the Scarlets tonight. But there is another game going on. The Dragons are playing against Benetton tonight. So we will be keeping an eye out on that throughout the course of the evening. And we'll be keeping you up to date on the score there. And there are a few games going on tomorrow, which we can also have a chat about as well, which will be interesting to see how they go. There might be a watch along tomorrow. We'll see how we go. Nathan Doak, all set. Sean, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. 25-15. You're saying it's going to be quite a close one. So Nathan Doak pretty much right for the post, just outside the 22. 3 minutes gone. Opportunity for him to give Ulster the lead early on here. And it's straight through the post, and Ulster take an early lead here. Ulster lead here by 3 points to 0. And really, it's been all Ulster so far. Ulster leading by 3 points to 0 here at the King's Pan. Our good friend Stephen Somerville, of course, is at this game, a season ticket holder. We'll hopefully get him on during the course of the Six Nations and previews. I'm actually jumping on his channel for a preview later next week. Nathan Doak clears it from the box kick. And you can see the wind, how the effect is. It's really well taken by the Scarlets here, just over the 10-metre line. And a chance for them to have the ball for the first time. The thing, though, if you're Scarlets tonight, I think you know that you've got nothing to lose. Nobody expects you to go away to the King's Pan and win the game. Nobody expects it. So, you know, just go there, play, see what you can do, throw the ball about a bit, have a go, and see what happens. So they say football, can you do on a very nice note? Is Rugby Bridge night in Belfast? I think you'd have to say it's in Galway, isn't it? In Connaught. Those conditions. Ospreys played Connaught there before Christmas at some point, and we were dreadful. But I've got to say, the conditions there were awful. Oh, Paul, thank you. That's very kind of you. I try my best. I'm not quite Martin Tyler, or Eddie Butler yet, but we try. Scarlets here are building quite nicely, actually, just inside the 22 here. They've had a few phases, recycled the ball well. Opportunity to go wide. Oh, it's been intercepted by Billy Burns. He puts boot to ball. Where's that bounce going? Who's going to get there? It bounced into hands of Tom Rogers. He is tackled. Tackled inside. So the Scarlets back in their own 22 with the ball, though. And they're going to try and run it from here. Sione Kalamafoni carries, and Scarlets will look to reset. Again, that's just how it is with youth, isn't it? You're going to try things. It's not always going to come off for you. And Ulster really rucking aggressively here. But Scarlets should be able to clear this, and they do. Sends it down straight into McElroy's hands. Rob Little carries on here. Up to the halfway line, Nathan Doak feeding from the scrum. Let's get to more of your comments. The most grim thing is waking up on Sunday doing the Six Nations, and it's someone playing Italy. Oh, true. Well, Six Nations next week. Really excited for it. We got loads of content going out on the channel starting tomorrow night. We're going to do a preview for each country. We're getting guests on for every country as well. And we're going to go into depth. And our good friend Dan is covering Scotland for us, so good to get him on. What's happened to Lee Halfpenny? He had a ACL, I think, injury in the summer against Argentina, and he's been out ever since. He hasn't played since then, so I don't know when his return date is. I don't know when we're expecting him to be back, but hopefully we will. Is he past his best? Probably, if we're being totally honest. I'm a huge fan of Lee Halfpenny. You know, one of the best goal kickers that we've ever seen for Wales, up there with Neil Jenkins, you'd have to say. And also, you know, just so brave. I think defensively improved a lot, but just injuries have just caught up with him now. And he's getting on a bit. You know, I'm full back. I think he's 32. He's had loads of injuries. He's got to be careful now. The ball has been knocked on by Ulster on the 10-metre line inside their own half. There is potentially an injury here. So 7 minutes gone. Ulster still leading by 3 points to 0. Let's have a look what's going on in the other games tonight. So it's still 0-0 between Dragons and Benetton down at Rodney Parade. 8 minutes gone in that one. So we'll keep an eye on how that one goes this evening. So 7 minutes gone in here. Marty Moore is down. I think he'll probably have to go off for a HIA here. But you know what? Scarlets have held up okay on the whole. You know, they're physical. They're trying to play with intensity, trying to throw the ball about. So I'm excited to see how they go. James, what Montpellier game are you on about, mate? Let me know. Sorry, Sean, I missed your earlier comment. Let's have a look. You think a salary cap should be in the URC? The CEO of the Six Nations says there is no talk about relegation promotion, but that's now might change. It looks more on the under 20 Italy side. The first one, salary cap in the URC. Yes and no. Yes, to keep the competition as level as possible. But no as well, because you want to be able to attract these big players like Fafita has just signed for the Scarlets, which is a heck of a signing. And that's incredible. Former All Black centre, playing out Wasps regularly week in, week out. And he's going to come to the URC. You want to still be able to attract those type of players, but you want to still make the competition as fair as possible. In terms of relegation and promotion in the Six Nations, I would love to see it. But these teams won't sign up for it, because imagine if Wales had a bad year or Scotland had a bad year. Oh, Scarlets breaking in here. Up to the 22 now. From the scrum. Advantage here for the Scarlets, and the Scarlets playing some really nice stuff here. Really good take from Samson Lee on the angle there. Dan Jones, Nicholas, still outside the 22 here. Ball has slowed down a little bit. Oh, and now it's been knocked on. So we'll come back for the original penalty offside. And you think Dan Jones would point to the sticks here. So, yeah, Six Nations promotion and relegation, I'd absolutely be up for it. But I just can't see it happening just because, you know, if you have a bad year one year and you lose, you know, you finish bottom, potentially have a playoff against a Georgia or whoever are there, and you lose that, then you're playing against like Spain and Portugal, and that's just not going to bring in the same amount of revenue that having England at the Principality would, or having France at Murrayfield would. It just wouldn't work in that way. I would be up for it, but I just don't see it ever happening, if I'm totally honest. I just don't think there's enough money. There's too much money at stake, especially after COVID as well. Everyone is so focused on that. So Dan Jones has decided to go to the posts about 10 meters. Not 10 meters, sorry, about 20 meters out. Right in front of the post, pretty much. And he sticks it straight through the post. And the scoreline is Ulster 3, Scarlets 3. There we are. The second tier does need to be stronger. I absolutely agree. I 100% think that we need to see promotion relegation. I think it would really benefit it because, you know, these countries like Georgia, for instance, they play maybe against, I don't know, England or Wales or Scotland once a year. And apart from that, they're playing against Russia. They're playing against Portugal. And Portugal are really improving. You know, Portugal beat, who did they beat recently? They beat Canada recently. I want to say it was. Yes, they did for the first time ever. They got a really good sevens program going on there. But the problem is that there's just too much money. There's too much money involved. As Dan says here, the sponsor wouldn't allow. Imagine England fans having a free king going down. The viewing figures would drop. Sporting point of view, yes, 100% financially wouldn't be allowed. I absolutely agree. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that is what is going to happen. But they did have this proposed Nations League, didn't they? Where they'd have the 12 top teams in the world playing, and then below that, you'd have the next 12. Something like that I'd be in favour of, potentially. But do you then say, right, we're going to get rid of the Six Nations because that's what would have been proposed? So maybe, let's say, the top 12 would have been New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, Argentina, the Six Nations, and maybe you'd have thrown a Georgia in there and a Fiji or someone like that, and then you'd have the next 12. The problem is the viewing figures just wouldn't be good enough, and until rugby grows in these countries to a good enough level and those teams are competitive enough, we're not going to see that, unfortunately. But do let me know your thoughts in the chat. I'd be really intrigued to hear what everyone else has to say. Really intrigued to hear what you guys say, guys. James Cody, I just want to keep the Six Nations. Would you be in favour of promotion or relegation? Or would you just want to keep it as it is? The thing with Italy is, I agree with what you're saying, Sean, by the way. Although they lost every game last year and they haven't won since 2015, if you look at the stats, they were a lot better. They were a lot better last year in terms of their statistics and what they were trying to do. And you can clearly see it's a 5-year plan. They've gone with a young squad. They picked young players such as BC, Varney's in there, Monty Ioane. A lot of young players are in there. They're going with them now. They're backing them. And I do think they're going to get better. Do I see them winning a game this year? Probably not. To be honest, I'd be really surprised if they do. But do I think they'll be a little bit more competitive? I think they will. But again, you know, something you got to ask, haven't you? But when Georgia, who would be the more natural team to challenge Italy, have played Italy in the past, Italy have won fairly comfortably in recent times, to be honest. So I'm not sure if Georgia are even at the level. But you have to expose teams to this level to ensure that they do grow and develop. It's a difficult one. It's a really difficult one. So here are Ulster on their own 10-metre line. They're going through their forwards, still 3 points apiece. About 13 minutes gone in this one. Still 0-0 between the Dragons. Oh, sorry, Benetton are leading by 3 points to 0. That game is actually on BBC Two Wales. So if you don't have Premier Sports and you want to watch some rugby tonight, that is the place to do it. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. There's been talk of Japan joining clickbait more than anything else. I do think Georgia should be allowed to join a European League as a club. The problem with that is then you have to buy everyone out of their contract because they'll be contracted to different clubs. So a lot of Georgians play in France in the top 14 or the Pro 2. Some play in England. Some would play in Russia, in Georgia itself. It's a nice idea. I just don't see how logistically that could work. The talk of Japan, I'm not for that at all. But again, do you put Japan into the Rugby Championship? Because theoretically, they're in the Northern Hemisphere, aren't they? So it's difficult. You know, we're now seeing Fiji have a Fijian side in Super Rugby, which I believe is the first steps to seeing Fiji going into the Rugby Championship, which I think would be brilliant for them. And hopefully we'll see something similar with Tonga and Samoa being able to do that. Hi, Richard. Hope you're doing well, mate. I'm very well. I'm good. It's good to be back doing watch-alongs. Do I think Wales will win against Ireland? Oh, no, I don't. We've just got too many injuries. And yeah, just way too many injuries. So it's something that we're going to have to. It's just not too many injuries, unfortunately, this year. All international rugby should be held outside the domestic calendar. I like that idea a lot. I really do. I think what it does is it ensures that the domestic league, so the URC has its best players playing every week. You take a break. It's something the URC are trying to do. It was something that they'd planned to do at the start of the season, but because of COVID and all the postponements, they're fitting all the games in now. So they were going to try and do it this year. And I think they should be looking to do that they every single year when these come in, they have a break. And maybe, you know, you could do friendlies if you want during that time for teams to keep fit. I don't know. Dan puts a really interesting point. Just allow Georgian teams in the URC. Absolutely agree. There's a team in Tbilisi. Put them in the URC. I wouldn't be surprised then if we could see, you know, you got the 4 South Africans, which I'm a bit iffy about anyway. But then you could put a Portuguese side there, a Spanish team, a Romanian team, a Georgian team, a Russian side in there, and that would grow the league. You could get, 20 teams there. So you could do that. Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you, Dan. Great minds think alike. I think the URC have been doing the international allowed clubs to use younger players and help development. Absolutely agree. But James, do you think that then affects the quality of the product on display? Do you think that would still encourage people to draw them in? I'm just asking. I mean, you want your players playing week in, week out. That's how the regions in Wales are going to ensure that they always have these players. They always have the international players. That's how you're going to draw in the crowds. If you've got your Alan Wynne playing every week, if you've got your Sexton playing every week, if you've got your, I nearly said Stuart Hogg, but he plays in England. But if you've got your Darcy Graham or your Hamish Watson playing every week, those are the players that are going to draw in the crowds. Let's have a look at more of your comments. I personally think the future for Rugby Championship is New Zealand, Australia, Japan, Fiji, Samoa, South Africa, Argentina. I'll be surprised if I could join the Six Nations. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually do try to put a serious attempt to do that. There's been a lot of talk about it. Why are these 4 South African teams in the URC? It's a good question. So many South African players playing within the British game at the minute, especially in England, especially at Sale Sharks. It's an interesting question, isn't it? Wales Ireland match hard to predict tomorrow week. Yes, tomorrow week. Really excited for the Six Nations to kick off next weekend, and it's going to be a good one. I think there are 4-5 teams that could win it this year. But I will keep my powder dry on who I think is going to win at the minute. People still, yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, that's very, very true. Under 20s have a good audience. They definitely do. Ulster have just got a penalty. They have gone to the corner. 16 minutes gone. So line out here to Ulster. Just inside the 22. About 15 metres between them and the try line. They win the ball. The maul is set up. It's really beginning to move here. Marty Moore at the back with ball in hand. He peels off. It's been defended pretty well by the Scarlets here. But here they come. Nathan Doak feeds his forwards. O'Connor. Switch of play here. Billy Burns gets it out wide. Oh, he's knocked it on. And it will be a scrum to the Scarlets. Real opportunity there for them. But a knock on from Ulster. Billy Burns fired it out, but just takes his eyes off it there. Curtis does. An opportunity there. And it will be a scrum to the Scarlets in their own 22. What do you think about the Champions Cup format? What do you think's wrong with it? Let me know. Yeah, it wasn't great last week. I mean, 11 games played by the Welsh sides in Europe this season. 0 wins. 0 wins, yes. Thank you very much, Window Beer Review, Thomas. That's very kind of you. Really appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying. Hope you're doing well. Most South African players play in Europe, so I think in a few years South Africa will move, not in the international yet. I think it might be like this North, South Africa, Argentina, Ireland, Wales, England fans. Maybe the fact that they're getting so involved, CVC also have invested a lot of money, a lot of South African influence in that company as well. Now look, the reality is the 6 nations, you look at the crowds, the stadiums are always pretty much full, maybe bar the Stadio Olimpico. But you look at Mofield, 50,000 every game. You look at the Principality, 75 every game. 75,000, not just 75 people. Twickenham is 80,000. The Aviva is 50-odd thousand. It's always full every single time. The TV viewing figures are massive. That is where the money is. Compared to the Rugby Championship, that is where the money is. Here we go. Nathan Doak has taken the penalty quickly. He's tapped and goed from the infringement by the Scarlets. They're up towards the 10-metre line here, but it's been turned over illegally by the Scarlets. Jaco Piper there deeming that was illegal. So Billy Burns will stick it in the corner. Once again, pressure from Ulster beginning to build up now as we head towards halfway through this first half. Really nice run there from Nathan Doak. Let's have a look at more of your comments. Hey, William, hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the rugby and all set for the 6 Nations. That's very true as well, isn't it? But, you know, I like the Rugby Championship. I watched a lot of it last year. And I really enjoyed it. Driving maul here, though, for Ulster. As they come forward here. Nathan Doak up to the 5-metre line now. I think we might be seeing a try here. Has he got it down? Trying to see, have Ulster got it down? He's trying to hold the man up. This could be an incredible defensive set. And it's been held up by the Scarlets. That's incredible defence. I think Dan Jones and Combia have held the man up. I don't think they're even going to look at it. I think it's just going to simply be, of course, with the new laws now, it's a drop out from behind the try line. A goal line dropper then. A change for Ulster. Milasinovic is off with Moore coming on, so he's passed his HIA. Dwayne Vermeulen runs hard. Ball is still there for Ulster, just outside the 22, really beginning to dominate and set the tempo now. But Scarlets, on the whole, their defence looked pretty solid, barring on the driving maul. And they have managed to push them back here, though. Ball is there for Ulster still. Going through the phases here, but still 3 points apiece. There is an injury for the Scarlets, so we'll keep an eye on that. Oh, brilliant work from the Scarlets, holding the man up. Is the ball there? And it's brilliant work from the Scarlets, turning the tackle into a maul and holding the man up. Sam Lucy there. Big work from him. And not Sione Topolo too. What's his name? The number 8 for Scarlets. I can't remember his name. Oh, well. Let's have a look at more of your comments, folks. Six Nations is the Southern Hemisphere's wet dream. Leave it as it is. Yep, I agree. But promotion relegation for European teams, because that's how it should be. There should be a way for them to do that. But bringing in teams from the Southern Hemisphere makes no sense to me. Adding South Africa will just destroy the excitement about the Six Nations. Like a Grand Slam would just be impossible, tearing the integrity of the competition. Also, 5 games is enough as it is. And I think, I may be a rugby traditionalist, but I do like the way the Six Nations is. You have 2 rounds to start off. At the beginning of Feb, you can have the 2 rounds of amazing international rugby, 2 games on the Saturday, 1 on the Sunday. You can chill and watch the rugby. Then you have a week's break. You have another game. You have another week's break, and then you finish off the rounds. And that's how I like it personally. But do let me know your thoughts. What do you make of it? With what happened with Super Rugby and the split between the Rugby Championship team, club size, nothing could be ruled out. True, very true. Money talks, it's very true. Do I think Edinburgh could go all the way in the URC this year? Dan, I'm very sorry to say, there's a team called Leinster in this league, and they're just a little bit. But no, look, I think Edinburgh have really, really impressed. They've played some lovely stuff. I think Boffelli's looked incredible at fullback. Even Kinghorn's looked all right at 10, but Ben Vellacourt at 9. We spoke about him when me and Dan recorded our preview for Scotland, which will go out on Sunday night on the channel, about his impact and the way he sped the game up. You got Hamish Watson, who's in there. Jamie Ritchie's at Glasgow. Of course, both Scottish sides doing all right this season, but Edinburgh have been brilliant. I just think that when they come up against the likes of Munster, when they come up against the likes of Leinster, I just think, and even Ulster to an extent, I just think they're going to have too much for them. I just think that Leinster will look to stifle them. But it's good to see that we are having a Scottish side performing so well. Once again, I mean, the last time we had that was when Glasgow won it in 2015, 2016, it's that time. So it's good to see. Oh, lovely hands here from the Scarlets. And there's an opportunity, and it's intercepted. Brilliant intercept from Greg Jones. Well, it was a lovely break on the left-hand side from the Scarlets. It was a simple pass. What a moment that was there. PT, Corey, who's on top possession territory-wise? Well, I'd have said until the last couple of minutes, I'd have said it'd been Ulster, because Ulster have played some lovely stuff, really dominating in possession, territory, but not really being able to break this defence down. And the momentum is swinging about, still only 3 points apiece, but the game is really open. A lot of nice passing, a lot of opportunities to run, not all that much kicking, probably because of the conditions. But, Scarlets can be really, really proud. If they can go into half-time being fairly close, like I said at the start, I think they stand a chance. And at the start, though, I did expect Ulster to win by 20-plus points. At the minute, we're not seeing that. Into the 22 go Scarlets. Evans picks and carries. Ball is there for the Scarlets. They put some nice passes together, but they don't break the line all that much. As I say, that Tom Rogers breaks in. Samson Lee, Dan Jones. Dan Jones into Sam Lucy. Oh, it's a good rip, though. Really good rip by Ulster. And there's a chance here to potentially counter-attack. Ball inside here. Rob Little. Tackle just outside his own 22. Good hands here from Ulster. Still just outside their own 22 here. And I've got to say, really impressed by Scarlets' defence this evening. Let's have a look at more of your comments. Benetton are now 10-0 up in that one. Indeed, they are. The tries for Els converted by Albanors. Yeah, 10-0 in that one. It seems that game, it's going to be a tough one for the Dragons. I mean, Benetton have been decent this year. Had a bit of a bumpy ride recently, but they've been pretty good. Let's have a look at more of your comments. Yeah, Glasgow won in 2015 a few times, but always lost to Leinster. That's just how it is. Yeah, 10-0 up. Leinster versus Montpellier. Honestly, there were scores in Leinster would have beaten Montpellier. I don't know about that. I think Montpellier are a good side on their day. Oh, I love that from Jaco Piper. Well, Scarlets was like, knock on ref. He was just like, nope. Ulster here, though, have been pushed back to the halfway line. Oh, dangerous defence there from Scarlets trying to power forward. But they've pushed them back, all the way back to their own 10-metre line now. Scarlets, this is a very professional performance from them. You know, they're defending hard, defending well. Great tackle coming in from Tom Rogers. But a seatbelt tackle. But really well done from Scarlets, you know, and Ulster really had no answer to how to break down that defensive line. They kept going back and forth to left to right, but didn't get any success from it. So, and to be honest, both teams have had opportunities. Well, I think they might. I think they're going to have a look at something here. Oh, I think Craig Gilroy could be off. I think Craig Gilroy could be seeing red. Oh, he's got to go. He's got to go. Tom Rogers steps inside. He's going to play the ball out. Gilroy's shoulder drops slightly, turns in and hits Tom Rogers straight in the face. They're discussing it now. I'll let you know what happens. 27 minutes gone. To me, he is falling. He is falling. That is a mitigation, but it's enough. Is there enough mitigation, though? So Craig Gilroy is going to go to the bin. I think he's a little bit lucky that it's not a red. I think he's a little bit lucky. I think he's quite lucky. Yellow card. I mean, Craig Gilroy. Let me know what you think about that. If you're watching the game, do let me know. To me, yes, he's dipping. Tom Rogers is dipping. I don't like the force from Gilroy. I don't like the force in it. There's a lot of force in it. There's no attempt to wrap whatsoever. He's turned his shoulder. If he just stood there and he ran into his shoulder, that's different. But he's turned his shoulder in. Tom Rogers has had to go off for HIA. Steph Evans is on. You can see both sides of the argument, but do let me know. Dan, you think it's a red. Paul thinks, well, it was a yellow. I'm not sure about that. Lucky man. Another ref could have given it another way. Yeah, it's a 50-50 one, isn't it? But this is a chance for Scarlets. I mean, what? 12 minutes to go until half time now. They're a man up. They've defended really, really well. They've defended really well so far. So big chance here to potentially do something in this first half. And folks, if you are watching, by the way, do hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It's completely free to do. Helps keep you up to date, especially with the build-up to the Six Nations and videos out pretty much every day. Make sure as well to follow me on all my socials, link down below. I post on there all the time. And of course, let me know your thoughts in the chat. I love chatting with you and getting your thoughts. Really good carry here from the Scarlets, though. They're into the 22. They just need one opportunity. Lovely hands into Johan Nicholas, who's going for the line here. A metre short. Chance here for the Scarlets. If they can get it down, advantage to the Scarlets. A metre short here. The most inexperienced Scarlets side I think I've ever seen. The Scarlets have scored in the corner. And it is a try for Samson Lee and the Scarlets. The Scarlets have taken the lead here. Scarlets lead by 8 points to 3. Who would have thought that? The Kingspan is stunned. They go from the line out. It's a really good carry from Callum Mahoney. We spoke about his impact, about what he could do. Lovely run from Johan Nicholas. And then it's just a pick and go. And Samson Lee, they had the advantage. He picks and goes in the corner. And Scarlets, as Paul says, are leading here 8 points to 3. It's still 10 points to 0 between Benetton and Dragons down at Rodney Parade. Benetton leading that one. A really, really difficult kick this is going to be for Dan Jones. If he can get this, it'll be quite impressive. And that's a delightful kick from Dan Jones, which gives them a little bit more of breathing space. It's a 7-point lead now. Ulster 3, Scarlets 10. 10 minutes to go until half time. Of course, Ulster down to 14 men for that yellow card on Gilroy. James Cody, really interesting point here. Leinster isn't slowing down. It's not like we had one golden team. It's developing every year. About 30 youth players are picked up every year. Yeah, the Leinster Academy is quite impressive, isn't it? And what I really like about the Irish system is if a player isn't quite good enough for Leinster or isn't ready to start for Ulster, and no disrespect to Connacht, they're probably on the weak of the 4 provinces, then they'll go to Connacht and play, and they'll be successful there. And the teams are okay with that because they know it benefits the team. Sometimes in Wales, I feel we're a little bit too tribal with the teams. Chance here, though, for Ulster. Rob Little trying a little kick over the top. It hasn't worked. And it will be a line out to Scarlets in their own 22. But this game's been really open. For the score to only be 10 points to 3, it's been a really open game. Scarlets do manage to clear. It's not the greatest clearance from Dan Jones. He's sliced that slightly, but he has got a bit of distance on it. As Sean says, I personally think if the league gets bigger, it should have a similar system to the Premiership and Championship with promotion and relegation. I would love to see it, but I think we're a few years away from that. It would make it more competitive. It would mean that teams are able to play for more, but then you need to ensure that you have a system below that that enables promotion and relegation. You need a decent league. You need enough teams in that league, you know, to ensure that. But I like that idea. A big fan of Dan Jones. He gets in the neck of a few Scottish supporters. Forget the key role he had in 2017-18. I hear Patch was leaving. I haven't heard that. I know he played last week, didn't he? in a developmental game, didn't he? Really good to see him back playing. Probably that ship for Wales has sailed for him. I do like Dan Jones. Again, I don't think he's quite at international standard. We just got too many 10s in Wales who can play that role now, but I do like him. So Ulster with the ball here in the 22 of Scarlets, going through the forwards. Billy Burns. Angus Curtis carries, tackled well by Sam Luisi. Dwayne Vermeulen carries. He's been really quiet today. We've hardly seen him. But Ulster really beginning to get some good momentum going here. And they're heading towards the 5-metre line. 7 minutes to go until half time. Billy Burns tries to dance his way around. Well tackled though. Nathan Doak into the hands of O'Sullivan. Some good work here from the Scarlets defence, but Ulster are really beginning to knock at the door. Was that double movement from Vermeulen? No, says Jaco Piper. So good carry from Connor there. There must be space out wide. If they can just get it there, that's a huge tackle from Callum Mahoney. Oh, it's knocked on by the Scarlets, by Ulster, but we're back for the original penalty. And interesting to see what Ulster do here. They're going to have a look at something here. Callum Mahoney with some huge hits. Big decision for Ulster here. Just over 5 minutes to go. They're down a man. They're 3 points to 10 down. What is the decision? I think they're just going to tap and go. I think Dwayne Vermeulen has got ball in hand. They're just going to tap and go. Off he goes, the big South African, trying to reach for the line. Here come Ulster, trying to push themselves over. Have they got there? They think they may have. Big defence from the Scarlets needed here. Oh, and I think Curtis is over. And there we go. Try for Ulster. And after all that pressure, Ulster finally get some points on the board. 8 points to 10 now. A lot of patience there from this Ulster side. It starts with Dwayne Vermeulen, who just taps and goes. And then they were just patient, use the big ball carriers. And Curtis just over next to the base of the post. Really good finish. And Ulster are 8 points to 10. And let's have a look at some more of your comments. Sorry, folks, I've been watching the rugby too much. As a Leinster fan, the one that got away, Tyburn, probably one of the best players over the ball, maybe. Nathan Doak's going to look to have the 2 points. We will keep an eye on that. If Wales had the similar system as the Irish, the sides would be more competitive. Again, it's very different, though. You have to think about, well, before we had regional rugby, which came in 2003, 2004, we had the Premiership teams, didn't we? So, you know, we had 12-odd teams, something like that. You had Swansea, you had Bridgend, you had Pontypool, you had Pontypridd. You had all these historic clubs, didn't you? But now, you know, it's there was a lot of anger about it when it happened. I'm a little bit too young to truly understand what happened and how it affected everything. But I know there are a lot of people who really struggled with that. So it's a little bit different, but it is something to think about. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And you probably definitely know, Dan, more than I do about it. But there does seem to be that distribution, that understanding that it's all for the greater good of the national side. and of the Irish teams. So scrum here to the Scarlets, just outside the 22. This potentially last chance to do something in this first half. 3 minutes ago, I'll get to your comments at half time. Sione Kalamafoni peels off the back. Steph Evans, first chance for him to get ball in hand. But really good work by Ulster there at the breakdown. Jaco Piper telling Nathan Doak to settle down, I think. Right, let's get back to your comments, folks. Where do we get up to? Offer Welsh players tap breaks, so many end up in England at a young age. Yeah, but you know, that's not the worst thing, because a lot of them are still deciding to play for Wales. Look at Louis Rees-Zammit, came through the system in England and is one of the best young wingers in the world right now. As long as they do come and play for Wales, to be honest, part of me would rather than play in the Gallagher Premiership, because it's a higher standard. So they've been exposed to higher standards, so they get better. If you look at England, the Spanish, Saracens, the other clubs make up the rest. Yes and no, not so much now, I don't think, but we are actually having England preview coming out tomorrow. So we're going to talk about their squad a bit more. But Van Granish with Munster, look, clearly he felt like maybe the time was up for him, maybe he'd done as much as he could. Maybe he just wanted something different. Potentially Bath offering him more money. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Very good head coach. I think he will make a difference at Bath. It's going to be interesting to see how Munster cope without him. Hey, Johan, hope you're doing well. Good to see you in the chat. Okay, found a live feed. Good. Dragons are now 3. Benetton are still 10 and it's half time. Thank you for keeping up to date on that. Do you think the Springboks will be wise if they can convince Gregor Townsend to be their new backline coach? Johan, my friend, that is never going to happen. Scotland will not allow him to go. If you look at Scotland, the way they've developed and improved over the last 5-6 years, it's never going to happen, I'm afraid. But it wouldn't be the worst idea, would it? South Africa, of course, known for being very physical, maybe not being as attack-minded and playing free-flowing rugby, although they do have the players to do it with the likes of Mapimbi and the likes of Cheslin Colby. But we'll have to wait and see. How's Nathan Doak playing, Philip? He's involved a lot in the game. Obviously, as a scrum half, he's going to be, but he's, tapping and going quickly, but he's been a little bit mouthy. Jaco Piper, the ref, not the biggest fan of that, but he's a real talent. Scarlets, interestingly, have a penalty here, just over the 10-metre line in the Ulster half. Dan Jones, potentially to give the Scarlets the lead heading into half-time, but he's missed the penalty. He's gone wide. So there are 3 seconds to go till half-time. So we are going to have the restart, though. So, well, Ulster going to keep it on the field of play. It's been knocked on. So unless anything comes from this, which it doesn't, and that is half-time. So at half-time at the Kingspan, it is Ulster 10, the Scarlets 10 as well. I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break on the channel. I need to grab a cup of tea, and I am bursting for the loo. So I'm going to go as well, but don't go anywhere. Make sure, folks, that you're subscribed to the channel, free to do. Leave a like on the stream. It really does help. It's free to do as well. And, of course, get your thoughts in the comments. Keep getting your questions in. Keep getting your comments. And I will catch up with them at half-time as well. And feel free to follow all my socials. They are linked down below. So make sure to get involved there. And I'll see you in a minute. Don't go anywhere. There we go. We are back. It is half time in this one. It is Ulster 10, Scarlets 10 as well. It is all square down at the Kingspan. A really solid display from Scarlets has put them in a very good position. We had the yellow card. Always interested to hear your thoughts on those and intrigued to hear what you made of it. But we are going to have a look at some stats, and we're also going to have a chat about the game, of course, that we've having on this evening, which is, of course, Dragons against Benetton. Benetton are leading that by 10 points to 3. So let's get the stats up quickly for this one. The Ulster against Scarlets. Let's get the screen shared, shall we? And we'll get to your comments in just a second. So there we go. As you can see, it is 10 points apiece at half time, 1 try each. But as you can see, Ulster dominating the possession, 66% to the 34% of the Scarlets. Although you look at the stats here, and both teams are trying to play attacking rugby, both teams looking to offload, defenders beaten, are both pretty high. But again, in terms of territory and the possession, it is Ulster who are on top. And again, no real surprise there because at the end of the day, look, Ulster at home, they're known for dominating possession usually. And if you look at the two teams on paper, the Ulster team were way further ahead than Scarlets. And if you're a Scarlets fan watching this game, I think you'd be delighted with the performance so far. And you could have even gone in the lead at half-time had Dan Jones managed to slot that penalty. You've got to say, though, for the defence of the Scarlets to have 96% tackle success rate with a squad this young and this inexperienced with playing together, it's pretty exceptional. It really, really is. And it's been pretty impressive. Both teams have kicked a fair bit. But again, not doing all that much. Scarlets, again, is struggling a little bit in terms of their discipline, but they need to watch that. Again, though, we're looking at some players here. Alan O'Connor's carried well. Sione Colomaphoni's carried well. Johan Nicholas had a lovely bit in the game, didn't he, when he pretty much got like a try assist, didn't he, earlier on. In the defence, Sean Evans has already put in 19 tackles in the first half. That's incredible. The second most after that is Greg Jones with 7. That's incredible. 19 tackles in the first half is absolutely incredible. Let's have a look at the other game this evening then, which we have, of course, is Dragons against Benetton. That one is on BBC Wales. So if you want to watch a game tonight and you don't have Premier Sports, that is the game for you. Try for Els and the conversion by Albanos and a penalty for excuse me, for the Dragons. If we're looking at the stats here, though, it's not pretty reading for the Dragons as they look at that. No tries. Possession is equal, of course, but no clean breaks. Both teams, to be honest, haven't really... I think we picked the right game tonight. Let's just say that. Looking at the stats, I think we picked the right game. The second half has actually just kicked off in that, and we will keep an eye out on that one. But there we go. That is how it's looking. But as always, folks, if you are watching, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do, and we've got loads of videos. So I can actually tell you what videos are going out when this week. I've written it all down. I've been very organised and got it all written down in this book. So tomorrow night at 7 o'clock UK time, we've got an England Six Nations preview. Then on the Sunday at the same time, we've got a Scotland preview. On the Monday, then we've got an Italy Six Nations preview. Then on the Tuesday, we've got an Irish Six Nations preview, France on the Wednesday, Wales on the Thursday, and then we'll have previews for the individual games, of course, going on. We'll have watch-alongs for all the games next week. It's going to be mental. It's going to be mental. It's going to be great, though. I'm really, really looking forward to it. We do have some games tomorrow, so I will make a poll at some point where you can vote on which game you'd like to do the watch along for tomorrow. Right, let's have a look at some of your comments before the second half does get away. Good to see Johan and Dan going back and forth on Gregor Townsend potentially going to the Springboks as an assistant. Personally, cannot see it. And as Dan said, is the favourite for the Lions job, considering the way we played this year. Last year. I'd not be surprised in that whatsoever. Yeah, I think, look, it's a difficult one with that. I can certainly see why you think it'd red. There is mitigation where he's going low. My big question with it is the turn of the shoulder. Is that turn of the shoulder? That's what I think. I don't remember anything about him. I'm not going to lie. I have been doing some Rugby 22 content, the game. I'm going to be streaming that quite a bit on YouTube over the next few days. So it might be at some point randomly in the day, but I'll try and let people know when I'm going to be doing that. Right, the second half has just kicked off. And Gilroy is back on. He has served his suspension. And so let's get our headphones back on. There is an advantage here to Ulster early on in this second half. Both teams at 15 men. He's failed the HIA, unfortunately. Tom Rogers started the season on fire. He scored a couple against the Lions, didn't he? So, yeah, I hope he's okay. Didn't he get capped last year for Wales? I'm pretty sure he did. Really exciting winger. Big fan of his. So we're all set for the second half. All to play for. Dragons just got a try, now a kick. We will keep an eye on that. They have indeed 10 points apiece in that. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the evening. Thanks, Richard, for keeping us up to date. So scrum here too. Ulster, Dwayne Vermeulen peels off the back of the scrum up to the 10-metre line. Nathan Doak. Ulster trying to speed this game up. Little caught. Good tackle coming on him. Scarlets told to release, which they do. Push back onto the halfway line, though, Ulster. Nathan Doak feeds it in here to Marty Moore. Big hit coming in on him from the try scorer, Samson Lee. Really, really good defence here from the Scots. They've actually pushed them all the way back into their own half. The other big thing to think about is that Scarlets have used 3 of their players for injuries already. So that will certainly affect the fitness of some. Some of these guys probably haven't played much rugby at all. Do I think Scarlets have a chance? Absolutely. I mean, it's 10 points apiece. We are just starting the second half. The Scarlets, when they've had ball, have looked dangerous. Defensively, look pretty solid. The only issue, as I just said, is that bench, isn't it? Is the option off the bench. I just think Ulster would have more options, more depth, more strength to come off. But I said, if they can keep it close up to about half time, then they stand every chance. Because I put it down. So I think I said Ulster to win by 20 plus. I don't think we're going to see that today. But we'll have to keep an eye out. Sharks have a good amount of their international game against Stormers. They do indeed. See a Khaleesi, Lukanyoam. Gilroy wins the ball in the air. A little bit of kick tennis going on here. But yeah, there are a few games on tomorrow. Let's have a look at what Benetton have scored again. So Benetton have increased their lead in that one. So Benetton leading that. But yeah. Oh, lovely work here from Tyler Morgan as he breaks through. He's got support. He's knocked on. And the Scarlets had... Oh, the try line was gaping. Dane Blacker. Really good burst from Tyler Morgan. Feeds it in. The offload is a little bit low. He should be catching it. If he catches that, he runs in and scores, and Scarlets lead once again in this one. Big missed opportunity there. Go Benetton. We have a Benetton. Johan, you're a Benetton fan. I wouldn't have expected that. They absolutely have. Well, Zebra, of course, if you didn't know, a few weeks ago got rid of Michael Bradley. I can't remember the name of the guy who's in charge. They're still yet to win a game this season. And when I spoke, who was it I spoke to? It might be you, Dan. When I spoke to you, I asked you, do you think Zebra will win a game this season? And you said no. And I said no too. Alan Shingler is on for Tupelotu. Hopefully he's okay. Good to see Alan Shingler back. Yeah, Benetton, I'm excited to see what they could do. They've got some good players. Monty Ioane is a really good player. They had Garbisi, of course. They got the young guy Ritzy in there now. So they got some really good players there. Friday nights is one of my favourites, especially to go to the RDS school. Mate, that's what it's about, isn't it? You finish your day, you're either at work, you're at school, you're at college, whatever you are, uni, whatever you're doing. You finish and you got the rugby, even if it's on the TV. It's like with the Six Nations. It's just around this time of year, isn't it? It's just so exciting as a rugby fan, and it's the best time of the year. It certainly is. So still 10 points apiece here. 5 minutes gone in the second half. Johan Nichols with the ball. And the Scarlets going through their big ball carries here on their own 10-metre line. But I think this ball is going to go to boot. And Blacker clears it downfield. Well taken by McAvoy. McAvoy, lovely run from the fullback. Lovely cut inside. Ethan McAvoy finds Nathan Doak. He needs support. Trying the little kick through. Does he have the pace to get there? And I think Nicholas has got it down. Woo! Ethan McAvoy with a lovely run there. Spots the gap, spots the space between the two forwards, bounces through, steps inside. Nathan Doak on sport as any good scrum half was, tries to put the right kick through, and it's exactly the right thing to do. But he doesn't have quite the pace. Johan Nicholas gets it down. I haven't yet. I need to watch it. I played a little bit of the game. I played a little bit. We streamed a little bit last night. But I do need to look into it. Hi, Carl. I hope you're doing well. Common Beach in Switzerland. Yes, Switzerland. Hope you're doing well, mate. I think, yeah, Leicester are looking pretty good. Although Savis will be up there for sure. I've played it a little bit. The game feels a little bit smoother. I might do a video on it to really just dissect it a bit more, but I will be streaming it over the next week on the channel. So keep an eye out and you can see what you think of it. Yeah, I haven't seen Squidge's video yet. Away day in Galway is the best as fan. The nights out in Galway are elite. Do you know what? I've only ever been to Thomond Park. I need to get over to watch Leinster, to watch Ulster and Connacht. Ulster beginning to tick now quite nicely. But Scarlets defence holding firm at the minute. Nathan Doak fires it out. McAvoy, good tackle on him. They're into the 22 though. Nathan Doak fires it out. Here come the forwards. Billy Burns fires it in. Jones carries, switches the defence. Curtis gets it out to Little. big tackle. Poor pass from Doak there. And Ulster are outside the 22 now. They have been pushed back. Again, you've got to say, the Scarlets' defence on the whole has been really good. A little bit of space here for Lil. No pun intended. And really well tackled by Conbeer. And it will be a line out to the Scarlets just inside the 22. McElroy really beginning to light this game up with his runs. What game at Thomond Park? It was Ospreys against Munster, probably back in 2016, 2017. We lost, which happens often when we go to Munster. But great stadium. I haven't really kept up to date all that much on the South African teams in the URC. I need to do that a little bit more if I can. But we will keep an eye out. So we will keep an eye out on that. Of course, not only the Six Nations, which starts next week, Major League Rugby in the US is kicking off next weekend. I've recorded a preview for the Western and Eastern Conference with the guys from the Rugby Rant podcast. So that's coming out next week as well. And interestingly, I'm going to be releasing the previews as audios on Spotify before the videos come out. So if you want to hear them before the video actually comes out, they'll be on Spotify. So they'll be starting to drop from tomorrow. So I'll drop a link at some point over the course of the rest of this game. So do go check that out. It is the top 8. Yes, Dan, I did not answer your question from before. Where is it? Hypothetically, first round, Leinster go out. Who's in the final of the URC? I think Munster would be in there. I don't see the South African teams being in there. Maybe Edinburgh. I mean, it depends what Ulster are like. Ulster can be brilliant, but not to be mean to any Ulster fans, but they have an ability to bottle the big games in the big moments, like we saw last year in Europe. They bottled it. So, look, about trying to get the balance, isn't it, there? What order are the previews coming out? So, we have England preview tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Scotland preview with the man himself, Dan, 7 o'clock on Sunday. Monday is... Let me check. Oh, Ulster overthrow the line out in the Scarlets 22. Chance for them to attack here. And it's been knocked on by Steph Evans. So, yes, we have England preview tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Scotland preview on Sunday night, 7 o'clock with Dan. Italy preview at 7 o'clock on Monday night. Tuesday is the Irish preview with the guys from Overlap Rugby. They're great guys, know a lot about Irish rugby. The French Six Nations preview with Yannick, who's a big French rugby fan. And we'll keep an eye out on that. So that's on Wednesday night. Thursday is Wales Six Nations preview. And also, I'm going to drop top 5 youngsters to watch the Six Nations as well. And then we'll have the individual previews for games as well. That's how it's going to happen, I hope. We'll wait and see. Let's have a look at more of your comments. Do I think Pivac's a good coach? I do think he's a good coach. Yeah, we'll leave it there. You have to wait for the Wales preview to see my thoughts on him. I do have some question marks over him. Munster, Edinburgh, Glasgow may be the best of the rest this year. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Penalty advantage to Ulster here. Inside the 22. Lovely step from Billy Burns. Big tackle coming in from Dan Jones. Still penalty advantage to Ulster. We're still 10 points beat. 11 minutes gone. That's a high tackle there. And still advantage up to the 5-metre line. Billy Burns. Surely there's got to be a try here. The bounce of the ball doesn't work for Gilroy. Craig Gilroy trying to go for the line. Tackled though. 2 metres short. Ulster pushing to try to take the lead. Nathan Doak feeds his forward. Still advantage being played here. Solid defence on the Scarlets. Is this going to be the try? Held up just short. Great defence from the Scarlets. They managed to recycle it here. Sam Lucy keeps the man up as the ball got down. It's a down. Jakob Piper trying to dig. And look, and he's giving the try. And the try is there. And Ulster finally take the lead here. I have no idea who's the man under the bodies. It looks like Carter is the man celebrating. But 13 minutes into the second half. Really, really good carry there. Brilliant work. Gilroy, except for the silly tackle, are going the back three of Ulster been brilliant tonight. They've really been fantastic tonight. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Yeah, so Wayne Pivac, I'm not completely sold on him. I do think he's a good coach. I think he needs to back himself more with the Wales job, but we can get into that in the preview. Ulster's the rugby version of Tottenham. That's a very good depiction, isn't it? Ireland don't stand a chance because well, put Ireland under pressure with good defence, dominant front, and the Irish will lose. Wales are more physical. Last season is a good example. I won't say what my prediction is, but I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. But we'll wait and see. Chance for Nathan Doak to have the 2 points. We'll keep an eye out on that. Nathan Doak has actually missed the conversion. The wind is blowing, so 5-point lead. How telling will that be at the end of the game? So it remains 15 points to 10. Johan's back in Leinster against Edinburgh in the final. That'll be interesting. Munster were good because Johan van Graan, the South African, as their head coach, must come to coach one of our South African URC teams. Well, he is going to Bath, isn't he? He's going to Bath, so that's where he's going next try. Indeed, yeah, come on, Scarlets. Scarlets had a fall from grace the last few seasons. They have, I think the thing you've got to remember about the Scarlets is they went with Brad Moore. It didn't really click. And after a season, the All Blacks come knock and say, do you want to come and be our backup? Like our backs coach or like skills coach, something like that. Which, if you're if you're a New Zealander, you just can't turn that job down. So he takes the job. They're kind of flirting with different coaches. They go with Dwayne Peel. They've had the COVID situation this year. But honestly, there are glimpses that they are doing things well. And Dwayne Peel's had 4 years at Ulster. He's been under a good coach in Dan McFarland. And they're playing well tonight. You know, they have an identity. They have a really clear identity in the way they want to play. Yes, they're not where they want to be. But again, I think it's very representative of how Wales are doing in general, is that, you know, Ospreys were very good in the 2000s, early 2010s, weren't they? But that was because you had Shane Williams, Lee Byrne, James Hook, Ryan Jones, Duncan Jones, Adam Jones, all of them were in the Wales squad and competing at the top level all the time. And then when they went, the Ospreys then started to struggle. So that's how it goes. Munster should just get wrong. He has committed his future to La Rochelle, so that's not going to happen. But it'd be an interesting shout. I think that eventually will happen. It just makes sense. It's like Rooney going to Everton. It's just likely to happen. Who will win the Six Nations? Oh, lovely kick! Ooh. Well, Dan Jones put a lovely kick over the top. Steph Evans had run onto it. Scarlets asking for a deliberate knock-on. Well, they're asking whether that Billy Burns knock-on there's a deliberate knock-on. And I think it's... I don't think that's the worst question. All right, let's have a look at more of your comments. Who wins the... I'm not going to say. I'm going to do a predictions video. I will say one thing, though. I think that England, Scotland, Ireland or France can win it this year. Maybe you could put Wales in there. You're not putting Italy in there. But I think 4 teams could win it this year. So we'll see. Thank myself as a decent coach. Rate yourself. You can be my assistant coach, Dan. We'll do that. So Scarlets here in the 22. Oh, lovely run! Ball just has to go wide here, surely. Sebastian, Yavin, Carrion. Oh, I think he's got there. That's a try. I think Scarlets have scored here. I think Scarlets have scored here. I think he's scored here. I think Scarlets have scored. Sione Calamafoni. We're going to have a look at this here. I think this is a try. So Javan Sebastian, the Scottish international, carries. Nothing wrong from there. Calamafoni picks the ball and goes. That angle isn't going to show us anything. Let's have a look here. Has he got it down? I think he scored. There's too many bodies in the way to see this. This is a big moment in the game. Yeah, I think he might be sure. Oh, has he got it down? Yeah, I think because Jaco Piper has said the on-field decision was no try. But it is going to be a 5-metre scrum to the Scarlets. David Hughes, the hooker, started it off. Really great break from him, but attacking scrum for Scarlets. And you know what? Scarlets going to try here. It's going to make a really interesting last 20, isn't it? It's 13 points apiece between the Dragons and Benetton, by the way, folks, at Rodney Parade. About 18 minutes to go left in that one. So scrum here to the Scarlets. Kieran Hardy is on the pitch. Good to see him back playing. But 5-metre scrum. And Scarlets' scrum has been pretty solid so far. Although that one just goes straight down. We'll have a reset. I heard somewhere Declan Kidney will be the next Munster coach. Blast from the past. I love him because from 2013. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who gets it. Paul O'Connell said no, that he wasn't going to be doing it. Either he, of course, is the forwards or line-out coach for the Irish national side. So the scrum is set. Kieran Hardy feeds it. Callum Mathony looks to pick it up from the base. Kieran Hardy picks and goes. Feeds Tyler Morgan. Trying to push over from here. And here come the big forwards now. The ball is not as quick probably as they'd like it. Callum Mathony is pushed back here. And is he slightly isolated there? No, the ball is still there for them. Kieran Hardy gets it out. Dan Jones tries to pop it up. It's into Johan Nicholas. 8 metres out, being pushed back ever so slightly. But they go again. Callum Mathony to Javan Sebastian. Hardy, Dan Jones. Looks to go alone. A little bit isolated there, but does well. Ball out wide here. Steph Hughes. Up to the 5-metre line now. Shingler. Ball is there for Sam Lucy. Good discipline here from Ulster. As we're into the final 20 minutes now. 15 points to 10. Ulster lead. Still good build-up here from the Scarlets. They're making up the ground. Push back. Aaron Shingler with his big long arms trying to go for the line. He's a metre short or less. Good hands. Big tackle by Dwayne Vermeulen. Is he there? Tackled well. Less than a metre short here. Steph Evans tries to go. Ball is still there. Scarlets trusting that their foot's going to do it. I think it's gone over. It's a try for the Scarlets. And the Scarlets do get their try. And Scarlets finally, after all of that build-up and all of that work, what an effort that is from the boys. They're 15 points apiece now. And if you're Dwayne Peel, you must be so pleased with this performance. You must be so pleased with this performance. Try indeed. France, England or Ireland that will win the Six Nations. Who'll be the top try scorer? Wrong side. That one. Louis Rees, maybe? Nah. I think Damien Penaud maybe would be worth a shout. Teddy Thomas. If you're looking at Scotland, Darcy Graham, Stuart Hogg. That's not what you said in the preview, Dan. I'm sure you were back in Scotland to win the Grand Slam, weren't you? So chance here for Dan Jones to give the Scarlets the lead. Oh, and he's pulled it wide and it remains 15 points apiece as we head towards the final quarter of an hour. Sean thinks DuPont will get it. He's incredible, isn't he? He really is. Incredible. It's still 13 points apiece down at Rodney Parade. There's 12 minutes to go in that one. We will keep an eye out on that. Yeah, it could be Duran van der Merwe. Could be Duran van der Merwe. Indeed, it could be. But he is out for the first game, isn't he? I think. If that was you saying, Dan. Oh, Scarlets let it bounce from kickoff. That's really silly. But they do manage to get the ball. Tyler Morgan. McGrath is on for O'Sullivan for Ulster, but penalty to Ulster straight from kickoff. And that is not how you want. Not how you want to go straight from kickoff. I mean, they let the ball bounce from the kickoff. You just got to catch and clear your lines if you can. 40 people watching on a Friday night. Lovely for you all to be watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. It's free to do. Helps you keep up to date, especially with the Six Nations just around the corner. Leave a like on the stream. And, of course, get your thoughts in the comments. Look at the community we have. And just get involved. It's really great to have you along. Still 13 points apiece in Rodney Parade. Line out here then to Ulster. Just about 6 metres out. Stand up for the Ulsterman. Rings around the Kingspan. Big moment in the game here. Bradley Roberts, the Welsh international, who's joining the Dragons next season, has the ball at the back of this one. It's been really well defended by the Scarlets, but a chance here for Ulster. Nathan Doak feeds it into his forwards. McCartney carries. Advantage, though, here to Ulster. And they do keep coming forward. As they keep trying to push on here. Still going through the forwards here. Lots and lots of patience needed from both teams, you feel. And over they push and over they go, and Ulster do have the try. Ooh, Jakob Piper's going to be checking this. This try may not stand. Ulster think they had the lead. They're going to check a double movement for this try. Let's have a look here. Is it a double movement for the try? His knees crash. Ooh. Jaco Piper is happy with it. The try stands. So that try is going to stand for Ulster, and the conversion was added by Nathan Doak. So Ulster lead here. Oh, I think you'll have to do the conversion again, but Ulster lead by 22 points to 15. And that all comes from the Scarlets not claiming the restart, letting it bounce, and then going from there. Ulster go and build from there. So 15 minutes to go here. Nathan Doak with a chance to add the 2 points, which we assume he's going to. That's why I put the 22 there, which he does. And so Ulster lead by 22 points to 15 into the final 15 minutes or so. And it all comes from that restart. We're watching it back here, and they just let it bounce. What's Callum Mafoney? Callum Mafoney needs to just take that. Oh, surely that was a knock-on. Well, Jaco Piper's missed a very clear knock-on there. But Nathan Doak will box kick this one just inside his own half. Ball up here. Johan Nicholas takes it well. What have the Scarlets got left in the tag? They've played so well this evening. And that ball has gone straight up. Steph Evans has kept it in, but the wind has blown it and he has stepped out. Live stream tomorrow. Well, in fact, I am going to drop a poll on the community tab. Now, there are 2 potential games we could do tomorrow. So let me just do that. So tomorrow we have right, let me just double check I get this right. Tomorrow we have 2 potential games. Ulster here are trying to attack, and really now another try here would kill the game off as Billy Burns goes down the blind side on the wing. Tackled well, picked up and then knocked on. I think he's been knocked on. Has he been knocked on? Craig Gilroy has crashed over, but I think there may have been a knock on. Oh no, that is awful. Oh no. I think they're going to check this try though. I think there's a knock on in this. So Nathan Doak has the ball, fires it into the hands of Billy Burns. Billy Burns is in touch. He's fine. Or is he? I don't think his foot's touched the touchline. Oh, no. And Nathan Doak kicks into the hands of Craig Gilroy. And it's a lovely try for Ulster. And we just said there, didn't we? And it is a try for Ulster. And is that the try to kill off the game for the Scarlets? Is that the try that will win the game for Ulster? 11 minutes to go now. Billy Burns, really nice down the line. Tyler Morgan probably should put the tackle in. Billy Burns keeps it there. It's kicked in from Nathan Doak. Really clever skill. And Craig Gilroy crashes over. "59 tries for Craig Gilroy now." Yeah, loads of games tomorrow. So, as James Cody asked there, live stream tomorrow. I'm dropping it in the poll now. So either we can have, let me give you 3 options. So we can either have Connacht against Nathan Doak misses the kick, so it remains 27 points to 15. So we can either have Connacht against the Glasgow Warriors, and that's a 2:55 p.m. kickoff. We could see the Ospreys host Edinburgh. Two very different styles of play for sure in that one. That's a 5:15 kickoff. Or we could see the later kickoff, which sees Cardiff host Leinster. Which is a 7:35 p.m. kickoff, so same time as it was today. So we will drop that in the chat there. Not in the chat, sorry, on the community tab. So if you head on to the community tab after this game, make sure to vote on which game you'd like to see. Actually, do you know what I could do? Is I could do this on here. Let's end that. And then let's see, can we make a new one? So change here for Ulster. Nathan Doak is going off. He's had a brilliant game so far. Right, let's make this. So which game would you like to see tomorrow? So the first option was Connacht versus Glasgow at 2:55 p.m. Then there was Ospreys versus Edinburgh at 5:15 p.m. And then we had Cardiff versus Leinster at 7:35 p.m. There we go. So make sure to get your vote in on that. The poll should be live nowish. So make sure to vote on which game you would like. All three, please. That's just not happening, I promise you. Next weekend, we are going to try and do all the games in the Six Nations, but there's no way I'm doing 3 on the bounce tomorrow. But make sure that you vote in the poll. There's a poll that has just gone live in the chat now. So if you make sure that you do vote in that, and then I will know what game you'd like to see tomorrow. So do make sure to vote. And make sure that you've liked the stream, by the way. 44 watching, only 21 likes. Let's see if we can hit 30 likes. And subscribe as well. Massively appreciated. So yeah, make sure to vote and get involved. What if I help? Send me a message down on Facebook. I still wouldn't do all 3. Not all 3 in a day. Potentially 2. Send me a message and we'll have a chat. So, Ulster with the ball in the 22 of Scarlets. About 7 minutes to go in this one. Ulster leading by 27 points to 50. It probably is game over by now. If you had to assess the performance, I think you'd say from a Scarlets point of view, they've defended really, really well. A young squad, gone over to one of the best teams in the league. They put in a performance. They played with a lot of confidence, a lot of bravery, but just the quality of Ulster has told in. And then from Ulster, just their quality has come through. They have come through, and they have just had that little bit too much. Scarlets have managed to turn it over. If they were to get a try, it makes it interesting, doesn't it? If they get a try soon, what I think of Jimmy O'Brien, he plays down at Leinster, doesn't he? Centre, isn't he? Exciting young talent, for sure. I think that's the right guy. But yeah, make sure to vote in the poll for which game you would like to see tomorrow. potentially we could do 2, but there is no way. There is just no way that I'm doing 3 tomorrow. It just doesn't work, unfortunately. But yes, do let me know. But with the Six Nations, we're going to try and do every single game. That's the plan, to do every single game. So, driving maul here for the Scarlets inside their own half, just outside their own 22. They need a try, and they need it fairly quickly if they want to get anything from this game. They could get a losing bonus point. Ball out here to Steph Evans. Inside ball, really well played here from the Scarlets. Conbier carries well. McElroy's over the ball. He's turned it over here. He's been absolutely brilliant. No commitment to rugby. Love that. Love that. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Dan, if you send me a message, mate, I'll get back to you tonight at some point and we'll see what we can do. I could do 2 games, but 3 is just 3 in one day. I did it. The only time I will ever do that is on Super Saturday with the Six Nations. That's the only time I will ever do that. Otherwise, your throat is dying, you're sore, you're sweating. It's horrible. It actually is horrible. Four minutes to go. Hope you have enjoyed tonight's watch long. It's been great to be back. It's been way too long, but it is good to be back. If you don't mind, folks, I'm going to drop links to my socials in the chat now. Please do head over there and follow them. We're going to be dropping a lot of different things over the course of the Six Nations on there, like video clips, little bits of breaking news here and there. So make sure to follow me. That is the idea at the minute. That is the idea at the minute, James. But please do head over and follow my socials as I drop them in the chat. And we break a lot of breaking news on my socials. You know, when the team is announced for different games and stuff like that, we'll break it on there. We'll have opinion pieces on there. So do make sure to head over and follow my socials. And I've actually started TikTok, which I never thought I was ever going to do, but I have started TikTok. And I'm going to be posting pretty much every day on there. So make sure to follow me there as well. Massively appreciated if you can do that. And do make sure to follow me on all of them. Yeah, definitely. They got the long throws of, oh, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? Delap with his massive throws. So, line out here to the Scarlets. 3 minutes to go. Sexton on from McElroy. That's not Johnny Sexton, just to make sure. But line out just outside their own, outside the Ulster 22. Scarlets, if they can get a score here, they will get a losing bonus point. But the game is probably gone. They'd have to score pretty much the next minute and then go up the field again. Tyler Morgan carries. He's been pretty pivotal tonight. Sam Costello carries into the 22. Kieran Hardy. Hardy sped the game up really well tonight. Why do the Welsh not like the Irish? I like the Irish. I like the Irish. I got no problem with the Irish. I don't think so. Unless they're playing against us, which they are next weekend. So on that day, I won't like them. But apart from that, they're a good bunch. Scarlets a little bit slow ball here. Shingler acts as the scrum half. Javan Sebastian gets it out. Bit of width here from the Scarlets. Lovely pass towards Steph Evans, but it has gone forward. And it will be a scrum to Ulster. 2 minutes to go here. Hope you have enjoyed tonight.
Ulster welcome Scarlets.
Gosh, let's get rid of that. Well, Billy Burns has been named as the man of the match. I know Stephen Somerville is not the biggest fan of his, but they are indeed a big sponsorship to get that. And they obviously have the Six Nations on their own this year. They're not going to have gosh, I can't even think. They're not going to have it at the same time as the men, so it gets its own spotlight in a sense, which will be exciting. Yeah, Six Nations. It's for the Six Nations, isn't it? Perfect, Dan. I'll get back to you after this. Ulster versus Toulouse will be interesting. I also need to park the bus away. Jose Mourinho 2010 job, then going to win at home. Park the bus. Just get John Terry and Ivanovic there. Why not? Yeah, that'll be a hell of a game. I don't think Ulster will go and play like that. I think they will look to throw it around. I think that's the way they've got to do it. Jonathan Davis, you have reminded me, my friend. Right. Jonathan's in the chat from Costa Rica. Jonathan messaged me a few days ago about someone he is trying to find. Let me get it up now. And we will have a look at this. Go away. There it is. Right. So, Jonathan is looking for a friend of his. Oh, Ulster might be in here, but it's been knocked on by Little there. And I think that's going to be the full-time whistle. And it is. That is the full-time. Full-time whistle then here has gone. Ulster have won by 27 points to 15. A great game, to be honest. Really good game tonight. Right, quickly before we go, let me just read through what Jonathan sent to me. So in 1978, Jonathan went to see the grand final game between Wales and France. He climbed into the stadium to see the game, stayed with his mate Neil Evans from Newport, who's his friend from school in Denstone College, same age as him, both are 61 years old, and he wants to find him. He's a passionate Cardiff football fan, son of a lawyer from Newport. Now, I think his name is spelled Neil, maybe Neil. Okay, so let's see if we can find him. So if anyone knows a Neil Davis spelt Neal Evans or Neil Evans, 61 years old, went to Denstone College, do get in touch with me via my social media. Make sure to get in touch. And we will try and help find him, Jonathan, for you, my friend. I do have a few ideas about that, James, so I will be introducing something where potentially subscribers can get on live streams and videos and things like that. That is something to keep an eye out on. Probably not before the Six Nations, during the Six Nations, because it's so busy at the minute, but potentially afterwards. But I love that idea. Carmen Peach, absolute pleasure, mate. Enjoy your time in Switzerland. What's the weather like? Is it snowing? Do let us know. And Rich Stew, the Dragons game of us Benetton for his 13 games or 30 points. I think we picked the right game tonight, didn't we? I think we picked the right game. Right, folks, that is full time then. 27 points to 15. I'm going to leave it there. I will let you know on my community tab what games we're doing tomorrow. Potentially we'll do 2, maybe 1, but we'll wait and see. Make sure to vote on which game you'd like to see tomorrow so we can get them and we can enjoy the rugby together. And, of course, loads of content going out now over the course in the build-up to the Six Nations. Follow my social, subscribe. So you guys are wonderful. Absolutely love you guys. And keep an eye out on the channel. Rugby 2020 live stream is going to be going on. The whole shebang. It's going to be great fun. Thank you very much for watching tonight, guys, and keeping the conversation going. Ulster 27, Scarlets 15. Really good win for Ulster, but a decent performance from the Scarlets. I'll see you tomorrow for some game. I'm not sure yet. See you